Please welcome to the stage Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer, who will be interviewed by Michael Arrington.
Did you see that, the cookie thing?
I did. I saw you get it wrong.
Yeah. Amazing what they're doing these days. So first of all, before we talk about the logo, I'd like to get your autograph on this whole Vogue thing. So first of all, I've never opened a Vogue magazine before. Look at this.
It's a book. It's a huge book.
And I gave up because I couldn't find the article. There's no table of contents. So my friend, he spent a good 25 minutes going through each page. We finally found it though. And I just really want you to sign it. Would you autograph this for me so I can have it forever? Whoa. Please.
Sure, why not?
There you go. Just on the part where you're laying upside down on the chair there.
So the backstory is that they actually shot me for about 2 minutes sitting upright, and then the photographer came over and basically said, honestly, the article's about leadership being in unconventional forms.
Yeah.
Like, this is entirely too conventional. Would you please move upside down? And I said, sure. And, and it worked. So that's sort of the backstory of what went on there. So.
Well, that's awesome because we're going to talk about this every time I interview you for the rest of our lives. So I wanted to get, obviously you wouldn't have done, I wanted to get it so you could. Well, I actually wrote this where you'd actually be, maybe both of us could be in the upside down position during the interview, but we won't do that. So, but back to the logo. So, what the fuck happened here, right?
Well, I mean, I should say that I like the way the logo turned out, and I like the way that we did it.
Yeah.
To me, we really pride ourselves at Yahoo as being the world's largest startup.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a big and established company. We need to be really entrepreneurial, and our attitude is to be really scrappy. And the way that we did the logo, we kept it in-house. We didn't have someone, as an external firm or consulting firm. We didn't spend millions of dollars doing it. We did it in a way that came from a very authentic place. For us, what the brand is really about is about the products and having the best products and the best user experience. And that's what we really want to shine through. So that's what we're focused on. We're happy with the logo, but for us, the focus is really on the product.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But how long before you change it, do you think?
I mean, I think that the interesting thing is that one of the things that caused this to happen is the logo, most logos get changed a little bit all the time.
Yeah.
And Yahoo didn't change its logo at all for 18 years. So we had basically 18 years of pent up changes and small changes that you don't even see.
Yeah.
Each day when they happen. And so from now on, what we're going to do is just do small iterations.
Yeah. Okay.
Over time, just to keep the logo fresh and current. But we basically got into a place where 87% of our employees wanted something different. Our users were mailing in saying, like, your products are beautiful, like the logo feels clunky. And when you get to that point when your brand doesn't really, in your logo, which is a manifestation of that, doesn't really match the products, that is a problem.
All right, I'm going to drop that. You were honest about it. So I thought you were going to start talking about math like you did in your Tumblr post, and that even though we can't see it, it's actually beautiful. Okay. Here's something nice. So you've been the CEO for a year and, is it a year and 4 months? July 2012?
A year and two months, yeah.
So the stock price has doubled-ish, about $14 billion in stockholder value that wasn't there before. So is that, that's good. That's really good. Is that something, though, that you think you deserve? Like, do you think that it's, how have you earned that?
Well, I think there's certainly some very smart investments that I owe to my predecessors, and very notably Jerry Yang's investment in Alibaba is something that people are very much excited about. And also, for example, Yahoo Japan, which is a joint venture for us, something that Dave and Jerry started in the very early days, has done really well this year. But I will say, when I look at the state of what we're doing inside the company, I have said it's going to take multiple years, and by that I mean probably 3 or more, to really get the company going in the direction that we want it to, and having the growth really be at the rate that we want it to be. But for me, it's really a chain reaction of 4 things. Hiring the right people, having them build the right products, getting that turned into traffic, because traffic ultimately leads to revenue online. And we're doing really well in a lot of different areas. Products, people, products, traffic, and revenue.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is they are a chain reaction and they work somewhat like a funnel. Like you have to get the right people there before you can build the right products.
Yeah.
And the products have to be good, otherwise users don't come and actually use them. And then once you've got that usage, you can use that, especially in an advertising business like what we run, to actually attract more advertisers and grow revenue. So we had a modest year of growth in 2012, 1% growth, but all growth starts somewhere. And this year, we've had a nice stable year so far. We're ideally hoping to see some growth this year or next year. But on the people, we're seeing really exciting things. We've obviously done a lot of acquisitions, and that's brought a lot of great talent into the company. But even separate from the acquisition strategy, we now get 12,000 resumes a week. And the reason that's a fun number for us is that basically the company's about 12,000 employees right now.
Okay.
So basically for every job we have, we get a resume each week, which is up, dramatically, like by a factor of 5 or 6.
Wow, okay.
From before I was there and before July 2012. And our attrition is down markedly. We're down to somewhere between a factor of 3 or 4 less attrition. So we've got great people there. I've been really, really happy with the team that I've been able to join and how tremendous the people are. And we've been adding new people all the time.
How many ex-Yahooers have you rehired? Because I know that's been a bit of a push.
Yeah, we call them boomerangs.
Okay.
And in Q1, I think 14% of our hires were boomerangs, and Q2 is 10% this quarter to date, because we actually had a lot of new college grads who can't be boomerangs by definition. I think it's hovering between 7 and 8%, but over the course of the year, it's been about 10%.
That's amazing.
Of our hires have been boomerangs, which has been just great. And on the products and traffic side, we're really happy with some of the new products we released. Like just Monday, we released a new product, or a revamped product called Yahoo Screen, that has the Saturday Night Live archive in it. Has all the Comedy Central clips, so South Park, Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert. You can watch those all on Yahoo now. And in terms of traffic, the one thing I'm happy to announce today is that we've actually passed 800 million monthly active users in terms of Yahoo's global audience. And that sets aside Tumblr, and that's core growth. And that growth actually represents 20% since July of 2020.
So that does include Tumblr?
It does not.
So where are these people coming from?
So we're seeing a lot of additional usage on mobile. We now have more than 350 million monthly users on mobile. And we're seeing a lot of usage on homepage, mail, search, our core properties. My strategy has really been to be focused on the daily habits, the things that people use every day: search, mail, the homepage, news, sports, finance, etc. And we really have seen people responding to the way that we've been strengthening and redesigning those products and investing in them.
Can I just apologize? There's 40 people here taking pictures. They follow me around all the time. And I know it's really annoying because they're taking a lot of pictures of me, and I don't want that to distract me.
I imagine they're just setting up for Zach, who's next.
Oh no, I think they're here for you. There's some interesting cameras. So I didn't mean that in a weird way. Just you're a little more photogenic, I think. We talked about product a little bit. I want to talk more. We talked about so your traffic's way up for unknown reason. I mean, the core products. I don't mean that. See, everybody thinks I mean it in a mean way, but it's exciting. And I promise I'm going to go to Yahoo. I did go to Yahoo for the new logo thing, and I remembered I have an email account, and I'm going to start seeing how that works out.
Well, we appreciate it. I think that mail we've seen a lot of market improvements over the past year, and you'll see more. So.
This has to be hard, though, right? I mean, you came from Google, and you were there from the beginning. And Google it almost effortlessly gets tech, praise and product praise. To a company that had some really hard years, where you probably have to fight harder than ever to actually get any kind of attention on these products. And that must not be fun sometimes.
I mean, I like hard work, and I would say, I love Google. I was there for 13 years, and if you had told me I would be as happy anywhere else, I would have probably doubted it.
Really?
And I am as happy, if not happier, at Yahoo. And so it's been just a phenomenal experience. I'm not saying it isn't hard work, but I love hard work and I love big challenges. And it's a big challenge, but I've got a great group of people that we both assembled and that were there already, that are really rising to the challenge. And it's been just really inspiring to be a part of that.
Okay. All right. Do you think that this crowd is the crowd that you can get back to your products? Are you starting with mobile on that? Or?
So it's funny. So I'll start. So from if you count mobile, PC, weather, mail, fantasy football, everything, how many people have been to Yahoo in the past month?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's about like half, maybe a little more than half. So, I mean, I would argue that in many cases, we haven't lost those users. We just want even more of their time and attention. We think we can give great tools that really help. Yahoo's always, the core competency has always been about organizing the web and helping people figure out how to spend their time. And I think that some of what we're working on now, for example, our news stream that organizes all the news stories on our homepage, we have one of the most sophisticated personalization algorithms that I've seen to date. And I think that I'm really proud of what the team has done there, and I think that we're just getting started. And I think that at its core, Yahoo is obviously an advertising-driven company, but we're really a personalization company, and we're about organizing the right content and the right advertising for each of our users. And there's a lot that we can do for those users who happen onto the site once a month, once a week, in terms of giving them more reason to come back and spend more time on our site because they find great things there.
Yeah. Now, do you use Yahoo Mail now? I assume you must, right? So did you, when you started using it, I assume you weren't using it much when you were at Google, but maybe you were, but did you find like, oh God, this is awful, we have to change some things, or did you find it was actually pretty good?
I mean, I think there are a few key features that I miss, but overall, I think that it's a really strong product. And I actually like the fact that it's sort of funny because one of the things I use just for fast email processing is Pine. So I use both Yahoo Mail and I use Pine. So for me, I'm always the type of person, like, I like really basic email. I like it to be fast, I like it to be efficient, I like it to be really simple and minimalist. And that's what Pine is. It's actually like a command terminal program.
Right. Because
and what I really love about Yahoo Mail is it loads fast. I mean, it loads faster than Gmail. It loads faster than it's ever loaded in the past. So we've been working a lot on efficiency and speed improvements. And it's just email, and it doesn't have video chat and a lot of these other things, which we may experiment with, but I think can ultimately get in the way in terms of using mail every single day and wanting to be really fast and efficient with it.
What are the biggest product holes and problems that you're trying to fix right now? Just the top couple things that are the things that make you the maddest right now that you want to change.
I mean, I think that there's lots of small things on the UI. There always are, and there's lots of different bugs which you basically just squash as they come up. I think that in terms of the broad need, though, I think that the big piece that I focused on is mobile. And so I think that we've grown our mobile team by almost a factor of 10 since I arrived. So it was really sub-size in terms of what it needed to be when I got there. And we have a great SVP of mobile, Adam Cahan. He's leading a tremendous team that's working on the design, the products, the engineering, and mobile's been growing just tremendously. Looking at what do users need to do, what are daily habits on the phone. I think there's a huge opportunity there for Yahoo. When you look at what Yahoo's always been strong in, mail, news, finance, stock quotes, games, sharing photos, group communication, all of these different pieces, that's what people do on their phones. So there's a great opportunity for us to take the content and functionality we've always had on the web and bring it to the phone, and taking it and making sure that it really meets not only the same use cases that we've had on the PC, but also some of the new use cases and new user expectations on mobile is really the key thing that I'm focused on.
Random question. I saw something where you seem to like, you were at the Apple event yesterday, and you seem to like the fingerprint NSA scanner thing on the phone, and so why would you be in favor of anything like that that can gather more information?
So it's fun. Well, no, it's funny because I didn't realize it was a reporter. It was just somebody at the end of the event who just said, like, what did you like? And I just said fingerprint.
Oh.
So I didn't really know that it had gotten picked up, but But I mean, I think that what I liked about it, and it's sort of funny because you mocked me once backstage at TechCrunch.
No.
Maybe it was on the web, because Mike was making fun of me because I don't have a passcode on my phone.
Oh yeah.
And like Mike was like, "Are you crazy?" And I was like, "Look, I just can't do this passcode thing like
Yeah.
15 times a day." And then like when I saw the fingerprint thing, I was like, "And now I don't have to."
Yeah.
So I was excited about that. And I just think that like building in some of these smart sensors into these small into the phone is really exciting. It's the same reason I just joined the board of Jawbone, and I'm really excited about what they're doing in terms of small sensors that help make everyday life and everyday tasks that much more interesting and or enlightened.
All right. So the fingerprint sensors are good.
Unlock your phone, yes.
So as far as I know, Microsoft hasn't announced a new CEO. Are you happy that Ballmer's leaving? And who do you want to be the next CEO, since they're your biggest partner?
I mean, I will say, from my now almost 15 years in the industry, obviously Bill Gates and then Steve Ballmer have been just huge fixtures in the industry, and I think that I really admire what Steve and Bill have both done at Microsoft in terms of what they've built. And I think that this is an interesting time for Microsoft, and I think that I don't know what their board is considering, but when I look at their product line, I see a lot of strength in the enterprise area. Windows, Office, and what the next instantiations of those products look like. And so one of the things I've come to appreciate is I do think that consumer executives and enterprise executives have just different traits and different instincts.
Yeah.
So I would hope that they are looking for people who are really strong on the enterprise side of the business, because I think that a strong Microsoft is good for the industry overall, and I think that that's really helping to build on their strengths and core competencies.
Would you like to see Gates come back?
I mean, I think that he's a phenomenal leader. I think that there's nothing quite like the passion of a founder in terms of leadership role. But
you're turning into a real diplomat, I'll tell you that. Being CEO means you have to say things more carefully than you sometimes used to. But I'm not commenting on that other than that. What's your biggest weakness as a CEO? What do you suck at the most? I mean, you clearly have things that are great about you that everyone understands, but what are you terrible at?
I think I've been really lucky. I mean, there's a community, and I know that many of the CEOs here in the audience feel it, because it ranges from startups to big companies. But there's really a community of CEOs, because CEOs do want to see each other succeed. And I've been really lucky to have some of the greats from Silicon Valley over the past year reach out and give their advice. And one of them said to me, "It's shocking. The thing that's shocking with the CEO role is how few decisions you actually have to make, but you have to make them exactly correctly and exactly perfectly."
Okay.
And he's like, so on the average day, like there's no decision that you really need to make. You can compel them to your team. If it ends up being a coin flip, it's probably okay. But he's like, every now and then there's a decision, and sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's non-obvious, that really, really matters and needs to be made absolutely correctly. And I think when I hold myself up to that lens, I probably should be making fewer decisions. And while I try and identify what those big decisions are, and I don't think I've missed any yet, I do think that it's hard to say, okay, what are the really big decisions that need to be made absolutely correctly?
You don't think you made a single bad big decision in the last?
Well, I'm sure that I have, but I'm not sure that any of those will be, say, make it or break it for whether or not Yahoo returns to growth.
What do you think?
My ultimate goal is to get the company growing again, and and from that perspective, your job as CEO is to grow revenue. And in that quest, there's a very few number of decisions that you need to make, but you need to make them perfectly.
Okay, all right.
And I think that remembering that each day and not getting pulled into the fray of a lot of those decisions is something that I would hope I can get better at.
What are you doing to protect us from tyrannical government?
So I've been watching your other interviews, so I knew this was going to come up. I think that I agree with a lot. Max Levchin is a board member and a good friend, and I agree with a lot of what he said, so I'm not going to repeat that. But what I will say is I'm really proud, and I can't take credit for it because it happened before I got to Yahoo, but I'm proud to be part of an organization that from the very beginning in 2007 with the NSA and FISA and PRISM has been skeptical of and has been scrutinizing those requests. In 2007, Yahoo filed a lawsuit against the Patriot Act parts of PRISM and FISA. We fought that. We were the key plaintiff. A lot of people have wondered about that case and who it was. It was us.
You lost.
We lost.
And then you caved. Not you. You weren't there yet. But
right. But the thing is, like when you lose, so we fought, we lost.
Yeah.
If you don't comply, it's treason.
Yeah. Treason.
So, and which
Well, now you're going through the process of suing the government.
So now what we do is on each request we review it, we scrutinize it, we push back on a lot. We push back on a lot of requests from local government. We push back on requests in terms of the NSA. We can't talk about those things because they're classified.
Why?
And so I mean, let's
just say, like right now, you were just to tell us the truth about what's going on, the stuff that's classified. Like, what do you think would happen to you?
I mean, releasing classified information is treason.
And then what happens?
Generally, and lands you, incarcerated.
So you're
or
not,
could, and so.
So you're not.
So, I mean, we are. I mean, I think that when you look at, we actually think that it makes more sense in terms of scrutinizing requests, analyzing them, doing our best to protect our users.
Yeah.
That it makes sense for us to work within the system. We filed suit against the government again on Monday, asking to be able to be more transparent with the numbers on the NSA requests. So, we have really, taken the charge, as have a lot of other companies as well, of pushing for more transparency, of pushing back on unreasonable requests, of pushing back on what we viewed as legislation that might not be reasonable. And we are constantly in a position of petitioning the government to be able to release, for example, the documents of that 2007 case. So, we're going to keep doing those things. For us, it's really about protecting our users, for our users to understand what's happening on our site, what's happening broadly across the industry, and really how at risk they and their data are, which is why we released our first transparency report on Friday.
Well, I want to thank you. I've asked this question of every single person except Mark Benioff because he was on this monologue that was too good to stop about Steve Jobs, but I've asked everyone else and I haven't gotten a single answer yet that I thought was even an honest answer. I mean, for you to actually say like what you said and reasons why you can't talk is great. Thank you.
And as I said, I mean, this isn't about this particular thing. It's just classified information.
You don't want.
It can be classified that way, and if it is classified as treason, it can be. So, that's what I can say.
And you don't think the best way to serve your shareholders and users is from jail? I don't mean to put words in your mouth. Who's smarter, Larry Page or Mark Zuckerberg?
It's not really a fair question because I know them, in different amounts.
Yeah.
I have a huge amount of respect for Larry Page. He's just, really broadly talented, intellectual, curious, interested, wanting to challenge. I think that what I would do is I would point out that I think they're both brilliant in potentially different dimensions. I think that Larry looks at the world all the time and asks, why not? And why should that be that way? And can I change it?
Yeah.
The thing is always, I haven't interacted much with Mark Zuckerberg, but I think that when I have met him, I've been blown away by his insight into people.
Yeah.
And I just think that he's incredibly insightful. While he's a great technologist, he's also incredibly insightful. It's not surprising to me that he's created this amazing social tool that's helped connect us all, because I do think he's really insightful into people, their psychology, what drives them.
I don't get the sense Larry is insightful into people. Am I wrong? I mean, he's sort of in another world sometimes. Like, so smart, he's in another world. Although Mark is too.
I mean, I think, as I said, I think that what you want to kind of look at is superpowers. And I would say I think Larry's superpower is challenging the status quo and what's possible and impossible. And I think Mark's superpower is on people, but that's just from my knowledge of them.
And what is your superpower?
I don't
You knew, what's your superpower?
I don't know that I have one.
Well, that's sad.
I think that
everybody should have a superpower.
I think that one piece that I would like is I do think I'm able to empathize. I think coming into Yahoo last year, the company had been through a period of a lot of turmoil and turbulence.
Yeah.
Really getting to empathize with the employees, understand the state that the company was in, and see a path for how to make it better, but realize that we all had to get there together and as a team, and that wasn't going to happen if I couldn't empathize and be part of what had happened to them even before I got there.
All right.
And so I think that, I don't know what people would say, but I would hope that if I have a superpower, it's probably empathy.
Listen, thank you so much. This is great. And also you're giving us so much time today because you're staying and you're helping to judge, as you always do, the finalists, and it's great. Thank you so much.
Thanks.